Gun Sports Radio is sponsored by Love Radio Network. Welcome to Gun Sports Radio, all about shooting, hunting, self-defense, and more. Now, here are the hosts of Gun Sports Radio, Dave Stahl and Lance Pelkey.
All right, Gun Sports Radio. Dave Stahl is at the Detroit Auto Show looking at the Bullet Mustang.
50th anniversary.
And we got Joe Holyfield, Hollywood in the house.
I'm here.
Baby. And also Michael Schwartz, Executive Director of San Diego County Gun Owners.
The one and only.
He has a guest, I think.
Yeah, you know, he's got a big guest coming.
I knew we got a little announcement and a guest.
He does. And before he does, let's thank our sponsor. Let's thank our sponsor, the Gun Range San Diego on Balboa Avenue, Gun Range San Diego. Go down and see Veronica for, I know all my needs, ammo, range. I'm a gold member down there. You should too. They're open basically, what is it, 10 to 10?
7 days a week, 10
7
a.m.
days a week,
to 10 p.m.
10 to 10. Get down there on Monday and Tuesdays too. They got some specials. And make sure and visit them.
Free rental.
I was just down there. Just came from there.
When? Just now?
Just now. They were hosting a meet and greet for the Liberal Gun Club.
Isn't that great? And we had the Liberal Gun Club,
Laura Smith, the president.
Was she down also?
She was down there. I met her in person.
I'm sorry I missed her. She was a really interesting guest. Speaking of interesting guests, we got quite a show. So we've got a great guest coming up next. Stay tuned for after the break, too, because we're going to talk about CCW here in San Diego. We got Bill Desy calling in. We also have Rachel's Challenge, Ken Fisher calling in as well on the fourth segment today. So let's get our caller, Mike. We got Dave Myers.
That's right, candidate for sheriff, 32-year veteran for the sheriff's department.
It's cool.
Last week, as you know, the board for San Diego County Gun Owners voted to endorse a number of candidates. This is our first round of endorsements. So there will be more, but this is the first round of people that are running who are pro-Second Amendment. We're proud to endorse. And one of the people that we endorsed is Dave Myers.
Yeah, super guy.
So we have him calling in today to talk. Is he online? Dave, you there?
Yep. Dave's
Dave
on.
Myers here.
Hey, there he is.
How's it going, Dave? Congratulations.
Thank you very much. And, Michael, thanks for all your work and assistance and making this happen. I'm very, very honored to have the endorsement of the San Diego County Gun Owners.
That's awesome. Now tell us, you're and you worked extremely hard, probably harder than anyone I've ever seen work for an endorsement. You were present at many of our functions. You're a member of San Diego County Gun Owners. Not that influences an endorsement, but you became a member of San Diego County Gun Owners. You put your CCW policy in writing. You spoke on air publicly. Didn't matter what group you were in front of. You were a supporter of the Second Amendment and a supporter of issuing more CCW. So a lot of blood, sweat, and tears and hard work put into the endorsement. But I want to ask, what does this endorsement mean to you?
What this endorsement means to me is my message, and the reason I'm running for sheriff is transparency and accountability in law enforcement. As the chief law enforcement officer, I see my role as enforcing the laws and not trying to push an agenda, not trying to push a personal agenda, and not trying to fool the citizens of San Diego County, whether it's a CCW policy, whether it's fair treatment in our jails, or whether it's talking about inclusion within law enforcement and what it means to police as the largest local law enforcement agency in San Diego County. This means my authentic message of transparency and accountability matters.
It's fantastic. And, San Diego County Gun Owners, we do not take our endorsements lightly. We do a ton of research. I've spoken with a number of people that you've served with in law enforcement over the years and had rave reviews with folks that have worked for you and with you. Again, it was, we're real proud to endorse you and real happy to help with the campaign. Can you talk a little bit about the campaign? How's everything going?
So the campaign's doing very well. Matter of fact, I'm down here at the Martin Luther King celebration parade right now. We just finished up with a very enthusiastic crowd of individuals. And across this county, what I also want to remind folks about is that the election will be decided in June in the primary, and every voter in the county of San Diego, regardless of where you live, has a vote for sheriff.
Yeah, we've talked a lot. We both over the years have run into a number of people who live in San Diego County who don't know they vote for sheriff, right?
Yeah.
And that's if you live in San Diego County anywhere, whether it's in one of the organized cities or in the unincorporated areas, you vote for sheriff. And with two people in the race, this thing's going to be decided in June because the person, if you get 50% plus one vote in the June election, it does not go to a runoff. So with two people in the race, only two people in the race, that's inevitable.
Correct.
Now, talk about what can people do? What would you like to see as a result of this endorsement? How can people help your campaign?
Yeah, get involved in the campaign no matter how you can. We enjoy traveling throughout this county and doing meet and greets, whether it's in people's homes, whether it's at a local restaurant, a VFW hall, a Masonic temple. We enjoy getting out and talking to the people. It would be a great help, no matter where you are, to put together a meet and greet, get some people together so I can come and I can talk to them. Social media is a huge benefit. If you have a social media account, go on to our campaign social media page on Facebook, like it, forward our messages, tell your friends about us, get on Nextdoor, which is a app in local neighborhoods, and talk about the importance of this race. Talk about the importance of having a transparent and accountable sheriff in office that recognizes. Go ahead.
I was going to say, well, now talk a little bit about the reception you've been getting across. You've been campaigning for at least a year, I think almost 2 years now, and talk about some of the reception you've gotten from people in San Diego regarding running for sheriff.
So regardless of where I go in the county of San Diego, and regardless of what group of individuals, whether it's ethnic differences, religious differences, gender differences, and what I'm finding in this hyper-partisan environment that we're in when it comes to politics, that regardless of party affiliation, that the reception we have received based on our message of transparency in law enforcement has been overwhelmingly supportive. And I'm just very taken back by what that tells me is there's been a need for that type of transparency and accountability for a long time. And it continues. That's what continues to encourage me in moving forward and spending every available minute that I have on the weekends and the weekday to get out and talk to people.
Now, if there are a lot of people that are super focused on the CCW issue, and that's where that is the you have a direct impact on a person's, if elected, you'll have a direct impact on a person's ability to bear arms. But what would you say to people about your views across the spectrum when it comes to the Second Amendment?
The sheriff, in my opinion, is supposed to be the chief law enforcement officer that enforces the laws. I'm not there to interpret it. I'm not there to take a sane and trained individual who applies for a CCW and fight them. As long as they've passed our background and demonstrated a proficiency, and that they say personal protection is the reason for good cause, then I am, as sheriff, I think, obligated under the law to issue a CCW to that person, period.
And after the endorsement, you wrote a really nice letter to the board thanking them for the endorsement. And there was a line in there that I don't have it in front of me, but basically saying, "Hey, look, it's not the law-abiding gun owner that's the problem." And I thought it was really insightful. That you're basically saying, look, if someone's a sane, trained, law-abiding gun owner, you as law enforcement, that's not who you're worried about. Those people are, fantastic pillars of society. But basically, in this statement, you were saying, look, I'm there as law enforcement to go after criminals. Could you expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, I've been in law enforcement 32 years. I've been the victim of gun violence. I've had a gun held to my head, and the trigger was pulled. Thank God that the bullet was defective. So I understand gun violence. We have enough gun laws on the books that as sheriff, I can be extremely effective at going after and targeting individuals who are not law-abiding, that use weapons in commissions of crimes, and that's who I need to be concentrating on. That's who I need to use the limited resources that I would have as sheriff to target in order to make our communities safe.
Hey, Dave, that's terrific. And what's the website? Where could someone find more information about your campaign, please?
So my website is Dave Myers for Sheriff. That's Dave Myers, Myers, and it's FOR sheriff.com.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I appreciate you coming on the show. And Mike, any parting words?
Dave Myers, endorsed by San Diego County Gun Owners.
Thank you very much. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, stick around after the break. We've got some more exciting gun sports radio on AM 1170, The Answer. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Gun Sports Radio. We've got Mike Schwartz and Joe Holyfield in the house. Gentlemen,
glad to be here.
So want to thank our folks over at Trident Gunsmithing. They've been with us since the beginning. www.tridentgunsmithing.com. Dan and Juan and those just terrific folks. If you need anything fixed or you're looking for a gun or maybe a little bit of a, what are they doing? Those deer classes or hunting classes down there, something like that?
Some great hunting classes over there. Yep. And I guess they even have the guy that comes in and teaches you how to turn your kill. After you learn how to hunt, you get all the laws, you go hunting, you come back, you have your meat, and they'll teach you how to turn it into somersault.
Into food.
Yeah, that's really good.
Turn your sport into food.
You got it. They're right off of Miramar Road. Check them out, tridentgunsmithing.com. Also, another great sponsor, it's John Dillon of Gatsky, Dillon, and Balance. Any questions you have regarding, I know Schwartz, Mike uses them. A lot of the gun community, he's just the go-to guy when it comes to gun questions. Other questions, lawyering questions, you can get a hold of him. He's at
great guy, very knowledgeable and extremely receptive.
Super guy.
Gun Range San Diego has,
a response.
He's like on our speed
this.
dial.
It just doesn't get better. So if you're looking, it's CA Firearms. Law.com, cafirearmslaw.com. And so that's Gatsky, Dillon, and Balance. There are segment support, and we really do appreciate, John, your support. And hopefully the flu goes away from your house. We've got a special caller in. We've had him on the show before. Super guy. That's Bill Desy. And he's we're going to talk about some fun stuff today. So, Uncle Bill, you on the line?
Yeah, I'm here. How you guys doing?
Good, man. Are you holding up in your house, or where are you at?
Yeah, I'm up in the house here. We're all trying to get over being sick. So
no, not you too.
We had it. I just got my Z-Pack yesterday. So
wow, you gonna get that steroid thing too, or no?
No, probably not.
Yeah, that thing really kicks your butt. So anyway, you and I were talking a little bit about this whole, and Mike Schwartz, we're talking about the CCW and what's happening here in San Diego. So you're doing your CCW classes here. Anyone could take them. By the way, what's your website?
CCWUSA.com.
Yeah, and I've taken classes from Bill. So what are you seeing as far as this local CCW happenings?
Well, we see a lot of interest in it. Like I said, a lot of folks have been getting the multi-state permits, so get the Arizona or Florida permit so they can carry outside of California. And then I've personally seen an increase in applicants that have been approved just in the last couple of months. Probably mostly like maybe 100% due to the efforts of San Diego County gun owners and just trying to get the sheriff to loosen the reins on issuing permits.
So I got to tell you, we've been getting a lot of non-believers, people, because we worked really, really hard, and I appreciate you saying that, Bill. Thank you very much. We've worked really, really hard to get the sheriff to budge, and it looks like he's budged. But I'm getting a lot of non-believers, people saying, come on, it's not happening, it's not happening. But you're the guy, Bill, who teaches them the class, and so are you definitely seeing? You and I have talked off air about this a lot, but you're definitely seeing an increase in approvals. And would you say that they're I don't know how to put it, but would you say that they're good cause? Would you say that the good causes that are getting approved, that it has expanded in scope? Maybe that's a good way of putting it.
Absolutely, because in the past, I probably could have told you, this is probably most of my students have this, this, and this. And they're common denominators. Business, maybe transporting cash. They're the owner.
Right.
They're in a high-risk occupation. Now I've seen folks come through with approvals, and I'm kind of in a little bit of shock and disbelief when I look at their good cause statement, and I say, like, do you know anybody? Are you rich and famous? Are you, are you married to someone that's influential? Nope. Just here's what I put down. I do this, this, and this, and it's just less than what has been required in the past. They're showing that they're elevated above the average person, so you can't just go in and say, I don't feel safe, or there's some crime in my neighborhood, or I know a gang member. You'd have to be able to articulate that there's something you do, either with your job or not with your job, which is new too. It's always been, if you said I'm a volunteer or I have a hobby, they just say, well, don't do that. And now they're saying, oh, well, if you actually do these things and they do put you at greater risk, then they'll actually consider that.
And if you can explain it, yeah.
I've had a couple folks approved because they go hiking and camping, and they travel in a motorhome, or they go, camping with motorcycles, or they're out in the desert a lot, or they're out in the wilderness where there's no cell phones, there's no, reliable police response because they're in the middle of nowhere. Mm. And if you look at Southern California, I mean, we got a pretty big chunk of desert land that people are in frequently, especially during the summertime.
Wow, those excuses would have never flown a year and a half ago. Like that, you would have been laughed out of the building.
Yep.
Yeah, if you went in and said, I want a CCW because I go camping, they would have, well, there's the door.
Yeah.
Forget it. Now,
it wasn't really an option.
Have you had the opportunity? We just put out San Diego County Gun Owners just put out a short video, it's about a 7.5, 8 minute long video that's a step-by-step on how to apply for your CCW, and it includes what to write for your good cause. Have you had the opportunity to review that, Bill?
I have. I've actually seen it. I think I may have a copy of it posted on my website.
Okay, good. I was going to ask, how do you feel about that, or what were your thoughts on that?
I thought it was outstanding. I thought it was really, again, I don't want to encourage people that don't want to get a permit or that don't own a gun to run out and buy guns and get permits.
Right.
But the folks that do feel, hey, it's my right, or even better, it's my responsibility to be able to protect myself and my family when I'm outside my home, those folks have an opportunity to potentially apply and get approved for a California permit.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And how often do you do your classes, and what's the cost, give or take?
Right now, I do for the initial California permit, I do 2 a month on the first and third Saturdays of each month, and the cost is $200. But I have had quite a few requests for private classes, so I've been doing some of those as well. So I'll have people that don't want to sit in a group class go ahead and do a private class.
Yeah, that's terrific. Well, I got to say, I've been hanging out with Mike Schwartz since he started San Diego County Gun Owners, and I remember people saying every time when I'm hanging out with Mike meets a new person, they go, "Oh yeah, man, how can I get a CCW in San Diego County?" And here we are. Open the door. They have the chance of getting the CCW. Now you hear Mike saying they don't believe it. That's just awesome.
And it's true because there's a lot of negativity out there, or people that are, either they say, well, I already tried and I got denied, or I know somebody who tried and they got denied.
Yeah, there you go.
So it's just a waste of time. I've even had close friends of mine, when I posted Mike's video on Facebook, they said, oh, it's a waste of time. You're just going to lose your money. Because maybe they'd gone in a year ago or 6 months ago,
sure,
and they told them, they laughed them out of the room and said, no, that doesn't meet our requirements. And now it does meet the requirements.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, he's the authority. You know what? Who's the authority is? We got the authority, you and Mike Schwartz. We got Joe Holyfield. We got the authority in the room. Ladies and gentlemen, go down and apply for your CCW if you truly want to have one, and you're going to be a responsible person with that weapon.
And I'm proud to say my wife got approved and is going to be taking your class within the next month, Bill. I'm really looking forward to that.
Excellent. Outstanding.
You know, that's actually how I met Bill about 10 years ago. We went and got our Utah CCW, and Bill is a fantastic instructor. But we were, I guess we had to go in and do range time because we were going to get our Florida as well, I think. Right, Bill? Florida requires range time. So so we took my Glock in, and my wife and I, we both had to go and take the range test, and I sent her in first.
There you go.
And so I went in after, and we were both using the same gun. And Bill said, he said, "Oh, is that your wife?" And I said, "Yeah." And she did such a good job. He goes, "You don't need a CCW. Just get her to protect you."
Yeah, that's awesome.
And it was, I knew right then and there we'd be long time friends.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Bill, what is your background? How long have you been doing this?
Oh, I started teaching classes back in the early 90s. I had work in loss prevention for Big Bear Supermarkets. Apprehended a shoplifter, and we got in a little scuffle and ended up getting stabbed. Jeez. And it was actually the detectives that were working on that case and the prosecutor that said, "Hey, you should go get a CCW permit. Your job's pretty risky." You bled all over the place. So he put that guy in jail for 24 years. But the result was I went down to the sheriff's department. Super simple process. At the time, it was John Duffy was sheriff. I just went in, said, "Yeah, here's my case report. Here's the incident." Showed him the police report and everything. I got a CCW permit for personal protection. I think I was about 22 or 23 years old, and it was no problem.
Yeah. All you got to do is get stabbed.
Yeah,
That's no problem.
Yeah, that's not a problem at
so
all.
Hey,
that's an easy way to do it.
There's got to be a better way to do this.
We've streamlined the process a little. No longer do you have to get stabbed, thanks to San Diego County Gun.
Yes.
Bill, give us your website again. Give us your website again, my friend.
It's ccwusa.com.
All right, man. Well, hey, kick that flu's butt, and we'll look forward to having you on the show again. Thanks for calling in.
All right, sounds good.
All right,
take care.
Appreciate it.
See you, buddy.
Well, so we got a guy that was stabbed. We have Dave Myers that someone held a gun to his head and the bullet was malfunctioning. Amazing stuff. So anyway, stick around for after the break. Thanks again to Gatsky, Dillon, and Balance, CAFirearmslaw.com for sponsoring this wonderful segment. Don't forget our website, gunsportsradio.com, gunsportsradio.com, and also look us up on Facebook. We'll see you after the break. All right, welcome back to Gun Sports Radio. Make sure and look us up on our website, gunsportsradio.com. Don't forget our Facebook. It's a wonderful place. Speaking of wonderful places, the Gun Range San Diego, 7853 Balboa Avenue, beautiful San Diego, California, 92111, open 10 to 10. The Gun Range SanDiego.com. They've got apparel, they've got ammo, they've got a video game, and
yeah, we got a shooting game. We got guns, firearm accessories. Everything that you need in the shooting sports, we got it. And if we don't have it on the shelf, if there's something very particular you want, we can get it. We can get it fast. We can get it inexpensive.
You got it. And that's Joe Hollywood, by the way. So this is the Joe Hollywood segment. So what are we doing today there, Buckaroo?
Well, I tell you, we're still pushing all of our, the holidays are over. We're still pushing all of our holiday deals on ammunition.
Yep.
We still have 1,000 rounds of 9mm for $200.
Wow.
1,000 rounds of 223, 5.56 for $350. And we are an exclusive dealer for worldwide ammunition distributors, and so we have remanufactured 45. $19 for a box of 50.
Oh, no kidding!
Yeah, that's like $10 off, like a $10 box difference between the remand and the factory new.
Yeah, that's huge.
And it's not just people think, oh, remand, I don't want it, but it's not remand as in just reloaded, where you just pick it up off the floor and do it. All the cases are clean, inspected. There's a whole process that, where we bring them back to factory specs, and then we start the whole process over again, So it's not like some guy in his basement, rotating the arm. I mean, these are run through industrial machines, and for $20 for 50 rounds for 45, right. You can't beat it.
And if you're taking your 45 out, you should be shooting at 50 to 100 rounds anyway when you get it out. So you don't need to shoot the best stuff in it all the time. You certainly can if you could afford it.
Exactly. And this stuff is great. I mean, this stuff is just as good as any of the range ammo you're going to find out there. Better than most of the reman stuff you're going to find out there.
I shoot a lot of remanufactured stuff.
Yeah. So it's going to shoot. It shoots great. And that's been kind of our big push. Here it is, the new year, 2018. And everybody comes in, and it's weird how reactive everyone is, because they come in and goes, okay, it's January. What's the new laws? Yeah. What do I have to do now? Yeah. Instead of, hey, next week is 2018. What should I be doing? But for the average citizen, really the only thing that has affected the average citizen out there is the fact that you can no longer have ammunition sent to your home.
Right.
You just can't order it online and have it sent directly to your house.
Yeah.
You can order it online and have it sent to a gun dealership if they have an ammunition vendor's license, and that's fine. But you're going to get a fee, service fee associated with that.
Yeah.
So the best thing to do is just come down to Gun Range San Diego and get ammo from us. We if you go to let's say cheaperthandirt.com and you get on there and you look for 1,000 rounds of PMC gold 9mm, it's going to be $199.99, and then you got to pay for some short. Even if they say free shipping, you still have to pay a hazardous shipping charge that you can't get by. That's the federal postal thing. Or you can just come down to Gun Range San Diego and buy it from me for the exact same price.
Yeah, and they should be doing that.
And
nice.
Yeah, you pick it up and you walk out. There's no wait. There's no waiting. 10 days to 15 days for it to come halfway across the country. Mm-hmm. You come in there, you buy it, and you walk out the door with it.
And by the way, Gun Range San Diego has a great Facebook that they do all the time. And I saw that one they took of Jason sitting on top of the pallet full of nines or whatever.
Unfortunately, that's another law that changed. But yeah, we had so many. I think we had between 9mm and 223, we had about 85,000 rounds sitting out on the floor.
There you go.
So people would just come pick up a case and bring it up to the register if they wanted it. And so every week we would do a different structure. One week we did a big wishing well, built a wishing well out of it, and then everything that went into the wishing well went to the Policemen's Orphans, Widows and Orphans Fund. And one week we did it, it was built up like a giant throne. And so people come in and take a picture on their throne of ammo, and that was real fun. But one of the other laws is now, because your legislators, ladies in California do not believe you are responsible enough to be able to pick up ammunition yourself and walk to a register with it.
Yeah.
You have to ask for help. It has to be behind the counter. You're not even allowed to touch it until you've paid for it. That is what the people that you voted for. You voted for these people, and that's how they feel about you.
And you guys have been in business 3 years, right?
We opened up the second week in November in 2014.
And in all that time, how many boxes of ammo have been stolen?
If you close your eyes, the amount you see is how many's been stolen.
Yeah, well,
zero.
So zero. So the legislature really solved a problem there. Huh?
Yeah, they solved zero problem. All they did was it causes a lot of problems, logistically for stores, especially. There's stores out there that do nothing but sell ammo. Mm-hmm. They have storefronts, and all they do is sell ammo.
Yeah.
So now, what are they supposed to do? Run their cash register and their counter up to the 3 inches from the front door.
Drive-through. They could do a drive-through.
Yeah, do a drive-through.
And some of those other stores, though, that were selling other stuff besides ammo, decided not to sell ammo anymore. So I got the emails from a couple stores that said, "Hey, man, just giving you a heads up, we're just not doing ammo anymore." So the door's closing here on this deal,
and so
it's getting tougher.
That limits the consumer,
and the price goes up.
Well, so the price goes up, but that reduces taxable revenue as well, right? I mean,
sure it does.
So,
you would think,
instead, you want to tax me an extra 12 cents on my gas, but you want to make it impossible for me to give you taxes by buying other stuff that I want to.
And did Walmart stop selling ammo? I haven't been to one yet.
I haven't been to one either, but there are some. There's some if it's some franchise stores like Big Fives and things like that used to sell ammo. They're not selling it anymore.
Big Five's not doing it?
Well, again, it's franchise, so it depends on if they bought their ammunition vendor's permit and things like that. To where, and then again, they have to rearrange their whole store, spend tons of money on new cabinets and space and that kind of thing. The
price goes up,
right?
Yeah,
so that's the same legislature that's up there right now talking about net neutrality and how the internet needs to be open and free for everyone. And unless you're a gun owner, then you can't do anything on the internet.
That's some crazy stuff. Huh?
Shutting that down, So not
absolutely right.
Hey, I was at like I said, I was at the gun range just for the show.
Yep.
And I was looking at your rental fleet, which you guys have an awesome rental fleet, all your guns that people can rent. But in particular, I saw you guys have a KSG, a shotgun. KSG there, which is because Santa Claus brought me one up. And, noticed. How often do people rent that? Is that pretty popular?
Multiple times a day. It's very, very popular firearm. It's that bullpup pump shotgun. And I'll be honest with you, what you saw was maybe about 2/3 of what we have available for rent.
Wow.
And when you come in, folks, it's the first 3 cabinets you see, those 2 walls right there. That's all of our rental guns. And you come in there, and it's a ton. It really, like, people think that that's our retail side, and that's just our rentals. And that's about 2/3 because we rotate the stock, so to speak. We pull guns off, and they'll come off for a couple of days for cleaning and maintenance and that kind of thing, making sure, safety's paramount, of course.
Have you shot your KSG?
No, it's still in jail.
What? Oh, is it?
It's still in jail. So
I can't pick it up. Go shoot Hollywood's then, huh?
Yeah. I can't pick it up till, I think, tomorrow or the next day.
I gotcha.
But, that's one of the most valuable parts. It's hard, you see a gun in a magazine or on the internet, and you think, man, that's cool, I'd really like that or whatever. But then, it's kind of a big leap of faith going down and just buying it without trying it. And that's a huge advantage for you guys down at the gun range San Diego. You have such a huge rental fleet.
Yeah, just about any. We have just about anything that's on the roster that you want to buy, you can rent from us. And we have a lot of off-roster stuff too that you can. We can't sell it to you, but you can rent it and shoot it and have a great time.
Plus, you got Manny. So if someone wants to, buy a gun, but they want to see what fits their hand well, not just
Manny. Manny, we got Wendy. Who works for San Diego County Gun Owners.
So you take lessons from them.
You get to take lessons from either one of those.
Yeah.
We have a big classroom set up in the building next door. You do come in and take like an hour worth of class. You go out and shoot for about an hour. And then you get to decide. You're right. And I tell people all the time, because they'll come in and say, well, my buddy says this is the best gun ever. Well,
right.
Your buddy is your buddy.
Yeah, but he's not the authority.
Until you shoot it, you won't know. So go over there, spend $10 on a rental. And decide whether you like it or not before you spend $500, $600, $1,000 on something that you may or may not like.
Isn't that great here in San Diego County too, Mike? We've got all these great folks. You got San Diego County Gun Owners, you got Trident, and these others. Where people could actually just go down there and hang out and talk to them.
Yeah, just today again. It's a very social environment. I met a bunch of people I'd never met before. They're hanging out, waiting for a lane.
Very social.
Watching football,
checking out. Putting their fingerprints on guns.
Yeah, I don't think people really realize how social it is. So it's a great place to go. Right there on Balboa Avenue, real close to everything, and just go ask questions.
Yeah, I barely got in the door, and one of the staffers said, "Hey, are you being helped?"
Always saying hello to everybody.
Nice.
Yeah. Really good. Any guns on sale? Or always guns on sale?
Well, we won't be undersold, I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Somebody came down and bought a Glock 19 today, and they're like, I'm buying this. They're like, I want to buy this because I have one on layaway over this other place, and this is $50 cheaper here.
Wow.
And I'm like, well, here you go. And so they went ahead and bought that. We don't have any guns on sale right now, but we will not be undersold.
No, your prices are, they're just terrific.
And, we're already lower than everybody else. But our biggest push right now is we are trying to relieve some of that pressure that the state is putting on us or putting on everyone else for ammo.
Yeah, I think it's
so. We're trying to relieve some of that pressure, letting you know, hey, we got it in bulk. The more you buy, the cheaper it gets.
Yeah, and people, you should be buying it and hanging on to it. It's really terrific. So.
Yeah, because
what is that? 20 cents a round for 9mm, 200. $200 for 1,000.
Yeah, $200 for 1,000 rounds.
It's about as good as it gets.
Yeah, you can't get any better. Like I said, even if you go and ask for the same brand online, it's going to be the same price.
Yeah,
and that's like at the really, really inexpensive places. And you get it now because right now they're not doing that state.
The registration.
Well, it's not really a registration, but it's a
background check.
You got to do the background check next year, but they're doing they keep track of how much you're buying.
Yeah,
starting July of next year.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have when you come in and buy, you're gonna have your little registration background check card saying you can buy ammo, and then we're gonna have to get online and put it on the national data or the state database and say, Lance Pelkey just bought 200 rounds of 9mm. So come in and get your stuff. This year, get as much as you can when you can while it's inexpensive because when we have to do that, there is going to be a surcharge.
Yeah, and real quick, we're going to go to a break, but before we do, I heard, did New York have a similar type of ammo thing? New York State a while back, and it just
they had a real similar ammo registration. They actually
still around, or
they ended up getting rid of their database.
Okay,
because it was too expensive.
Sure,
and it frankly wasn't solving crime, wasn't preventing crime.
And look at these guys. I mean, this law, all these laws are supposed to go into full force, January of this year, and they're not rolling out for another year and a half. It's just,
they had to push it out because they're making all these knee-jerk reactions, and they don't even have the infrastructure to enforce the laws that they're doing. But they just gave themselves, if you didn't know, a 4% across-the-board pay raise last year. So we have the highest-paid legislature in the United States is in California. And they have like a D- for report card.
Plus, they can conceal carry, right?
Feinstein's got a concealed carry, but you don't.
What's your website, buddy?
GunRangeSD.com. The GunRange San Diego.com. And you can give us info at GunRangeSD.com if you need to email us or anything.
Cool, baby. With all the laws, flying around, we've got some really. We'll talk about a really good calling guest here right after the break. So, ladies and gentlemen, stick around. This is Gun Sports Radio on AM 1170. The Answer. Welcome back to Gun Sports Radio. We've got Mike Schwartz and Joe Hollywood Holyfield in the house. I want to thank again our wonderful sponsor, Trident Gunsmithing, Juan and Dan at Trident Gunsmithing, right off of Miramar Road, www.tridentgunsmithing.com. If you need a gun looked at, take it down there. If you're looking for something, go and talk to the gentleman over there. I know I will be down there tomorrow, probably around noon, because I got a couple of things to drop off to them. Love those guys.
Great customer service, great craftsmanship.
You got it, man. TridentGunsmithing.com. And give a real quick shout out to Lance Reeder for he has his 5th annual Sheila Hamed charity course that's coming up. It's www.charitycourse.gives, and that's the March Parumph 4-day handgun tactical or 4-day rifle tactical class that he puts on every year. And I know I'm going to take the 4-day handgun. And Uncle Mike, are you going?
You bet. I got my hotel room booked. Me and Laura, we're going.
That's fantastic.
Nice romantic, multi-day pistol class.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So if you don't have any, rifle or pistol, and you want to get some good training, you can certainly go over there.
And like I said, this year it takes on a whole new, meaning for Laura because she's about to get her CCW.
Yeah, that's right. It's a really big deal.
And come out and hang out with the Gun Sports Radio guys. Where all 4 of us are going to be there.
It's weird. Nice. And speaking of, we in this show for all this time we've been talking about all these, laws that are put in by the legislature, to try and make people be nice to each other and all this other stuff, which, to us seems just useless because we're law-abiding people. It's, it's the bad guy and all that other stuff. There's a good friend of mine. His name is Mark Van Buskirk, and he introduced me to a gentleman who we have as a call-in guest, and that's Ken Fisher. And Ken is the executive director, and you can correct me, Keith Fisher, if I'm wrong. Something called Rachel's Challenge. And Keith, we got you on the line, my friend. Keith, are you on the line?
Hi, guys. Thanks so much for having me today.
Hey, it's my pleasure.
Yeah. So we're a new organization, or a new chapter of an organization here in San Diego. Rachel's Challenge is a national organization that does in-school programming for kids K through 12. We were started by the parents of Rachel Scott, who was the first young lady that was killed at Columbine High School, which is the worst high school shooting in history, in the United States, that is. And so her parents took this profound and tragic loss and partnered with some education specialists and have developed academic programming and school-based programs for creating cultures of kindness, caring, and compassion. And we do some pretty powerful stuff, and we've been asked to set up shop here in San Diego County and deliver programs and services to the 747 schools, 42 school districts, and 500,000 kids in San Diego County.
Yeah, it's terrific, and I know that when I heard about your program and what hit me was that a lot of kids aren't real nice to each other, and not just kids, but sometimes of course people. But the neat thing was that getting kids now, getting information to them to learn how to cope with problems and deal with each other, and not just victims of being bullied, but also the bullies themselves. I was quite impressed. And tell us also about the referrals going, the amount of referrals dropping at the different schools and that kind of thing.
Well, one of the things that we have found over time to be pretty impactful and powerful is we survey and get a lot of feedback from students, teachers, and counselors anonymously. And we have had a decrease, or experienced a decrease, reported that is, in referrals for detention and for disciplinary issues. We've had reductions in absenteeism, isolationism. We have self-reported reductions in suicides or suicide attempts, which tragically is a problem in our society today. And as a result of creating safer, more comfortable and safe environments for classrooms, we've seen increases in test scores, and so that's a positive impact.
It's really huge. And what kind of work do you do before you actually go to the school? So what kind of promoing, if you will, is done?
So we partner with principals, administrators, and counselors to try to get materials out in advance, and obviously want to work with the teachers who are the more hands-on folks, but we have a plethora of materials, videos, and promo videos, etc., that we try to get out to folks beforehand to sort of prepare them for what they're going to experience in terms of going through Rachel's Challenge and getting to meet her and understanding the impact of the work that her writings and journals generated some time ago. So there's a lot of prep work in advance, and then obviously there's then the school assembly and the presentation. But then we're not a flyaway program. We're not just there for the day and then we're gone. We actually have folks that now live here in San Diego County that continue the work forward. So we go into a school and we're partnered with the school for the entire year.
And then what about that? I saw that these paper chains, and what are those about?
So Rachel felt like if one of us could create an act of kindness, that it could in turn start a chain reaction of kindness and carry it forward, if you will. And so what we've done with the Friends of Rachel's Club, which is something we establish when we go into schools, is we ask kids to write down on a strip of colored paper one act of kindness that they might have committed or paid it forward with. And what we've done over the years is created links, paper links, that have extended lengths of football fields and beyond, and they've linked schools to schools in different communities. So what we've learned is the simple act of writing something down on a piece of paper that documents something positive and charitable in nature creates that much more of a chain reaction to carry it forward.
Yeah, it really does. And before Rachel's passing, you all had mentioned a couple things that she was involved with, a couple students that she personally helped. Can you tell us about those people?
Well, so what we learned about Rachel upon her passing is that she herself had taken kids, I don't want to say under her wing, but she had a level of compassion for others that were different or not treated well or new to a school campus.
Mm-hmm.
And felt like it was important to welcome people of difference or of color or what have you under her wing to be part of her inner circle. And so she really had this profound adultness about her and I don't know, this level of caring that I think is lacking in a lot of school kids today. So she really had a pay-it-forward mentality.
Yeah, a lot of compassion. And what was the organization that actually did that commercial? You know what I'm talking about, the one in the the school lunch room?
Oh, it was the school lunch presentation was something for a brighter future.
Right.
It's a Colorado-based organization that does a lot of positive messaging and what have you, messages of compassion and caring.
Yeah, they show a student who was new to a school, and she goes to sit down with the other folks, and they kind of just, either make fun of her or walk away, and she's isolated and all alone, and then this girl just sees it and comes out of nowhere and sits down with her.
Right.
Yeah, that was modeled after Rachel herself.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, pretty cool. With a couple minutes we have left, how many schools here in San Diego have you done presentations with so far, give or take?
So we started up here formally in September of this year, and we're now up over 40 schools that we're partnering with.
Okay.
So it's pretty much catching on fire, and it's exciting for us. And so thank you so much for having us on the show today. But what we're really thrilled about is the partnerships that we're developing with schools north, south, east, west. I mean,
sure,
we're all over San Diego County right now. We've formally gone into all 9 schools in Ramona Unified. We're partnered with San Diego Unified, and we're looking to do a major partnership with a charter school system.
And that's really cool because you got 40 schools in San Diego County. How many schools, give or take, just in the United States has Rachel's Challenge touched so far?
In terms of schools, I don't have the exact number. I know
districts
that across the United States, we're about 1.5 million students a year.
It's big. This is big. Also, you mentioned something about south of the border.
Yeah, we this year have formally moved into Guadalajara. There's a family that's sponsoring Rachel's Challenge in the entire state of Guadalajara, Mexico. So that launch occurred just earlier this year, and it's huge.
So, you guys are, it's huge, and it's taking off. What's your website?
It's rachelschallenge.org.
I gotcha. Well, listen, Keith, thanks again for coming on. I appreciate it. Look forward to having you on again. Mike Schwartz, Joe Hollywood, our sponsors, and don't forget gunsportsradio.com. Look us up on Facebook. Find the Gun Range San Diego on Facebook, and also, how about, Mike, what's your website?
San Diego County Gunowners.com.
You got it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we couldn't do it without you. We appreciate it. Tim, our board operator, love you. Have a good day off for MLK Day, everybody, and I'll see you next week. Gun Sports Radio, out.
Gun Sports Radio is sponsored by Love Radio Network.